Work is underway to transform townships into hubs of sustainable socioeconomic development. Women and youth-owned businesses will be reignited as this will enable residents to create jobs for themselves and uplift their communities. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ginger, the founder of Ginger the Voice. We are a communications company that seeks to give hope, courage, and enlightenment. We do this through various platforms such as speaking, singing, and hosting talk shows. Tonight, we have in our midst Batabile Moreki, who is a multi-franchisee, an author, and a business consultant. So we're so excited to have her here because she will share a lot of things that we need to know, particularly in this contemporary society where everything is just not okay economic-wise. Batabile, welcome to Ginger the Voice. We thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much, Ginger, for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. We do know that you are an author. You are a lady with wearing many hats. And in your book, you once wrote, or that, when I read the book, a part of the book, you once wrote that you had a dream, and it scared you. And you know what they say about dreams that scare you? It means that if it doesn't scare you, then it's not big enough. So you had this dream. So I want to know from you, how long did it take you to realize your dream and become this well-known business consultant? And how long did it take you to reach your goals?
Okay, thank you for that. So I think, to be honest, I have not reached those goals yet because I still yet to see a lot of other small business, especially in the township, growing and becoming big businesses, creating jobs. But I think I'm, on the right path. So for
Okay.
me, I think since when you are growing up, you are watching TV and you see these community builders of the year, they're getting awards,
Mm,
recognition. I think
yes.
since when I was just that little, that's what I was inspiring to say. I want to make a difference, in other
Mm,
people's life. But remember, we don't
mm,
know these things, and you will be channeled that
yes.
you must go to school, get a job. So I did all of that up until when I was working in corporate, and I realized, what, the way I'm pushing my side hustle, you get that fulfillment. Yes, I was still passionate about my office work because
Mm,
reality is it paid me well and it was a good, company. So I was like, what, but the fulfillment comes to for me helping other people. I'll find myself even getting into other project in the organization. I was at a private sector, my last employment, but I find myself helping even beyond just my scope of work. So I
mm,
thought, nah, I think I'm at the wrong place. I can maybe be better if I can just be a full-time entrepreneur. So I
mm,
started to take the entrepreneurship full time. But as I was also growing up at home,
mm.
because there was a point where I stayed with my grandparents, so I was forced to be an entrepreneur because we were forced to sell because of
Okay.
poverty at home. Our
Yeah.
grandparents will be
Mm,
given some gifts, like from the farms, they'll give in some peanuts and will be grilling them at home and, be forced as kids to go and sell. So for me, then it was not entrepreneurship. It was like, umntwana uyathunjwa nje, I must sell. you
mm.
know.
You're trying to make money, to make ends
Yes, you're trying to make money for so that there's bread at home. So I
meet.
never saw that as entrepreneurship. Only now I appreciate the lessons, that I
Mm.
was given.
Absolutely. And as a seasoned entrepreneur, I know that you've been in this kind of industry for a very long time, over 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. What still motivates you to wake up in the morning and hustle? The other time we were watching you on Facebook, getting your hands dirty, doing it, and I think that's why excited me and I loved about you is that you are not one of those people who sit and say, I dreamt of this is my vision, but you do nothing about it. So what
Yeah.
motivates you? Because you also find that there are people who at the face of challenge they run away or they get
Yeah.
demotivated. What motivates you to keep on keeping on even when you face a hard day?
I think I've seen the results that once you start pushing, when you start working hard,
Mm,
you get closer to the success, you get closer to that goal. And
mm,
again, when I come back from what I've done, like now, I'm not even aware that people like you are watching me. So I get such motivation, such encouragement words to say, oh, we've seen you. This is such a good thing that you're doing. I get those appreciation. So for me, to be honest, they kind of give me more strength, to go
mm,
again. And to be honest, as I'm going, I see the impact of that little work that I do. An
mm.
impact where I will get a message from another entrepreneur say, oh, you remember you were talking to me about this. This is what I've done. So such, when even people coming back to give me their feedbacks, I get the joy. And when I'm even tired, I remember, you know what, but I mean, you are not only doing this for yourself, but there are other people that
Watch.
draw strength and
Mm,
motivations from you. And I get up even when I'm tired, because the body, we do get tired,
of course, of
you
course.
know. And
So
life
natural. And so,
challenges
yeah.
will also knock you down. But, you know, I tell myself, you know what, I'm not only doing this for me, I'm also doing it for other people.
Okay, so you follow through your passion because there are a cloud of people watching you, and for you, it feeds into your motivation to serve other people and make sure
I
that you
love
are that person who gives to them. All right, and as
it.
an author, I know that you've written the book How I Started My Business with 1 million rands, and in chapter 6 of the book, there's a portion where you talk about how you were funded by the bank and the whole process of funding basically. Now, what I perceive from the book, and I could be wrong, my perception, so you need to correct me today, is that
Yes.
you are basically saying, let's go get funding from the bank. So, are you actually saying that a person who's got the leverage or the advantage of having funding from their own personal savings or maybe borrowing from their family members should actually not take that route and rather go for the bank? If so, why?
Yeah. So for me, to be honest, I'm saying, you know, as Black people, we've seen with our stock fail, we're saving money. But
Yes.
how many of us Black entrepreneurs accessing that money? Because it's not a lot of Black and businesses that go to the bank and use that money. But we've seen how many the banks are using that money to grow their own assets, and also to even get, you know, that same money, it also funds white-owned businesses. But
Okay.
as Black people, we also need that money. And remember, it's our money. We are saving that money. The stock fell,
Mm,
it's about how many billions? I think 80 billion just on stock fells. So stock
mm,
fell is your mother, it's your aunt, it's your uncle saving their 500 every month into the bank. So now, why can't us Black children be taught on how can we access that money? And it's not really
mm,
about you going to loan 1 million. Remember, our
mm.
portfolios are not the same. I was
Yeah.
on an advantage because I used to work before. So I had a credit profile. But even if you don't have a credit profile, remember other businesses, you can start a business with 5,000 rand. I've got a case study by one of entrepreneur. He owns a bakery. You know, he
Mm,
started with
mm.
5,000 rand loan from the bank, and now he's opening his third bakery. He has Refilo Bakery. He even has Boroto Bakery, I mean, owned by Refilo. He owns two
Okay.
trucks now. So you can see
Okay.
that it's not just about getting 1 million and starting a business. Sometimes you can start
Mm,
with 5,000 and grow that business.
okay.
So
All
you
right.
don't even need to have assets, acquisitions. You don't have to have any life covers for 5,000 rand to start that business, you know, as a
Mm,
loan. And with the
mm.
banks, it doesn't only comes with the money. It also comes with the mentorship, because once they fund you, they've
Yeah.
got obligation to help you to succeed. They need
Oh,
to
is that
coach
so?
you. Yes, they need.
Wonderful.
Remember, they've
It's
borrowed you the money. They cannot just go away and say, "We'll come and collect." They're not their mashonisa. You know, they've got the
mm,
responsibility according to the Financial Act to say, once they enter into a contract with you, they need to
mm,
ensure that you service the fee. So what the financial institutions have done, they've put measures. You know, they've put measures to say, after we've funded the person, we need to encourage them, we need to show them skills. That's why they will say, call us when you've got problems, call us if you need help, we are here for you, and they will guide you.
okay. Lovely.
They've got a
There's a
session called postmortem unit. You know,
okay.
that's where there are lawyers, economists, HR specialists. Even if you've got HR matter, you can just pick up a call and say, "I've got these issues. How can I address them?" They'll be happy to come out and help you at no
Now, is
fee.
this in all banks?
In
This in
all
all
banks. You know,
your Net Bank?
I've been with private bank. I've been with government institution, NEF. I'll mention government institution because it's government. We are not here
Oh,
to promote them for money. Then I've
yeah.
been with commercial banks. They all have that set up for business. They don't
Okay.
just call you when you've missed your installment, but now and then they will come and check your compliance to say, you have your valid tax clearance certificate. You know, they check those things.
Mm,
It's
okay.
part
So
of their
there's
process.
some value that's added. They
There's
don't
some
just
value,
take your money. There's some value added.
there's value
Lovely.
added,
Okay, that's
which
wonderful.
helps you to grow the business.
Absolutely. We've got a comment from Visnaba Dlambeo. She's saying, how long did it take you to pay back the bank? So you borrowed the 1 million rands from the bank. So how long did it take you to pay them back?
It was supposed to take me 5 years, but there was a point where I had some challenges with my ceiling where it fell and insurance didn't pay me. So I had to go and negotiate with the bank to say, I've got my shop is closed. Now I need to like install a whole new ceiling, still pay some expenses for that month, So they gave me another extension for about 6 months. So I didn't pay it exactly with 5 months. I mean, 5 years. I paid with 5 years. I think 5 years, 6 months when I settled my first loan.
Okay. So besides the financing from the bank, we do know that some banks will probably reject small businesses because they view them as a risky investment. So besides financing from the commercial banks, what other financial institution or money lenders can entrepreneurs, particularly in the townships or black entrepreneurs, go to find funding?
The one that we've now been doing is with the stokvel. Our normal stokvels. We've got
Yes.
people that have money they want to save, but they don't know what businesses they want to start, and some are not even interested to start businesses. They're just interested in gaining the profits. So we've also done the model of a stokvel. In English, it will be called crowdfunding. Where
Okay.
people when just coming together, you propose a certain value proposition about the business. We buy that business cash because it's different people contributing. We've done one, it was 1.5 million. Each person was contributing 15,000, and there were 100 of us. So
Okay.
those are the one thing that are also now booming as crowdfunding or stokvel. So you are majority shareholder, but it will be run by other entrepreneurs. You don't really have to be involved in the operations if you're not interested in running the business.
Okay.
And also the government institutions, they assist, the likes of NEF, CFA, NYDA but remember, all of them, they don't fund certain amounts. Like NYDA, I think they've got grants until 9,000 Rand, and then you must qualifying under 35-year-olds and so forth and so forth. They've got different okay, models of the kind of businesses they fund and the amounts that they fund the businesses.
Okay. In one of your conversations that I've listened to, you were talking about the 7 to 10 types of funding. Can you just explain to us maybe the top two that are more accessible to people? Maybe just tell us briefly what they're all about and how people can get access to them.
So I will just say, to be honest, the easier ones that you can access is normal business funding, business loan. Let's say business loan, because funding, other people think it's free money.
Yes.
Grants take a while. And remember, as a businesses, we are doing a business to run a profit. So a bank wouldn't loan you if you are not going to be able to pay it. They assess your business prior, So now, for me, I feel that that's the one that we should pursue more, because it also assists us to understand that if our business can be profitable or not. Because a lot of other businesses, they start already at the wrong footing. Whereas the business, you can see that it doesn't have the potential to create a profit, but they still started because, remember, they've got their own money. After 3 months, the business slows down because it's a bad concept, which is not well thought of, or the location is not that good. But because it's your money, nobody can tell you anything. Even the advisors, they will just jump people's head, because you will tell people, no, it's my money. Even if it
Yeah.
sinks down, it's my money, there's nothing. But
I
with the
do what I
banks,
want to
because
do.
they take you through the risk assessment, they force you to do the risk assessment. That's why they will
Okay.
say, do a business plan, do a financial model. You want to see how are you going to create revenue, because there's no point of you trying to build a business that won't make a profit. It won't sustain you. It won't sustain itself. So for me, the
It's
business
useless.
loan, that's one thing that I love about them. They put effort to understand that your business can make a profit. The grants, we've seen so many grants given to entrepreneurs. If they were serious about, making profitable businesses, we will have a whole lot of businesses that
Businesses.
are hiring people. So with the grants we've seen,
Absolutely.
government will pay you 20,000, 30,000, but people will go and buy cars, buy flashy clothes, because there's not even a follow through. They try to do vouchers, but remember, when you go to those places and you just negotiate with them, at the end of the day, government will pay them. So what you do with that money, they don't care. They are not there to build you. They're suppliers. Sometimes they
And I
will say,
suppose
you'll go
the businesses don't. So the business don't account for the money that they've
that or
received.
account for the. There's not even a
It's
follow
like,
up through, because government, they're not giving you to kind of gain something. So there's still that lack of monitoring and evaluation after they've given you the fund to say, are you using the fund accordingly? And there's not even what can I say? They cannot even penalize you even if you've done. They cannot take you to jail. So there have been misuse of funds that were meant to build other small businesses. We've seen Gauteng economy have done so many boot camps, so many pitching. People were getting 200,000, but we don't see the
result.
value, the results versus the amount that were paid, which is very sad, to be honest.
So quite a waste of time and money.
And money and talent, because to be honest, other
talent.
people, they end up now not even picking up themselves after they've misused the funds. It's very difficult now to go back and say, can I try again? So sometimes, to be honest, we waste so much talents up just failing to monitor, because remember, other entrepreneurs, they're still young. So if we don't coach them properly, we are also failing them. You're giving them 200,000. What do you expect them to do? Others will now, buy too much alcohol and this and that. Now we even waste the talent that we could have just helped it to grow.
Absolutely. Now, we're talking about the small businesses. I know that there's always infrastructure challenge. You just spoke now about the ceiling that you had as an issue with, as a small business. There's also other challenges such as, electricity that's not reliable, like your load shedding that we have, water that's not reliable, and also small businesses being unable to pay for services that are good for the growing of their business and the progressive of their business, such as services such as the marketing service, legal services, accounting services. Those are important services in any business. What I want to find out from you is, has the government, or rather has your business as a mentoring business coach, have you put in place any support for small business infrastructure?
For me, as a business, I always tell our other small business to say, when it comes to business, whether you are small or big, we are all the same. We are businesses. So things like legal infrastructure is something that we need to think about and find means to access them. For example, now, if you want to start a bakery, you can start at home, you can still bake at home. But remember, once you sell food, sometimes your business might not grow if you don't have health certificate. Remember that health certificate that your premises are in good condition to accept food and what. But now, once you don't have that, sometimes you cannot even get big deals. Let's say you want to supply Pick and Pay, but they will say, okay, we'll want your SARS certificate, we want your health certificate to show that your premises are good enough. But now, you cannot get that health certificate if you are working from home, because your kitchen, the one that you are using for your daily use, at home, and your business cannot be the same. So municipality will not grant you if you are working from home. So hence, it's very important that as a small business, before you do anything, do your business plan.
Okay.
A business plan it doesn't require any infrastructure. It's just a paper, so that you can think through. Because remember, even if you don't have your own infrastructure, as an entrepreneur, you find solution. You can partner with other people. There are so many small other businesses that are in the same boat with you. So if you gather together, you go and rent a premises in town, which can be a kitchen. There are so many buildings that they just have open spaces. You rent there. Sometimes you've got a baker. They normally start 8 in the morning, around 3 to bake breads. You'll be done by 8. 8 o'clock, another one who sells food come in, they cook their food that they deliver to office parks, or they go and sell in the streets. So now there's this thing of us, no, we don't have resources. It won't take us anywhere, because unfortunately, a business, we are all treated the same in front of business law. Hence, every business, whether you are in township, you're in the suburb, you are big or small, you need a tax clearance. You need to have a business account if you want to apply for funding. So the checklist, they're the same for everybody. Compliance is the same for every other business. So it's very, very important that you sit down, do your business plan. That business plan, it will help you now to answer some of the important questions, to say, how can I find the kitchen? That's when now your entrepreneurship spirit will come in and say, okay, maybe let me partner with other people. We encourage partnership a lot. And we're saying you don't have to own anything. We've seen with B&B, Airbnb, they don't own any property, but they run Airbnb. Ubers, they don't own any Ubers, they only own an app. So we need to learn from such big businesses to say, as small as we are, We don't have to own. Imagine big organizations, they don't even own other properties. Why must a small business want to own everything? So we need to say, the saying, look at your resources, partner with other people, then you can be as successful. Then when you've got means, you can now go out and look whether you go back home and zone, because zoning is other, a mission. That's what I'm saying. You cannot get health certificate if your area is not zoned, if you don't have a private area where you're cooking only for business. You cannot mix your household cooking and cooking for your business. Municipality health certificate won't allow that.
Okay, we've got a viewer's question there. They're asking, how long did your business take before it gave you profit over and above money for stock and overheads?
So for me, to be honest, guys, I will think at the third month I did a profit because I started with a franchise. My first formal business was a franchise. So a franchise model, you leverage on the brand. So when I opened my doors, people already knew that brand. That's why I shared even in my book to say, on my first day, I made 28,000. That was 5 years ago. So first day opening doors, six years ago, opening my first doors, I made 28,000 revenue. So you can just see, because the advantage was that I was now with a brand that was known. It was a new shopping center. So the excitement of the community, because they never had a shopping center, the location was great. Olivenhout-Bosch is one of the towns that 80% of the people are working or they're owning their own businesses. So there's no poverty in Olivenhout-Bosch. People there, they've got money. So my location was also great. And, with the grant that I got, the funding that I got helped me to be able to have enough stock. So when you've got enough stock, you've got a premises that you are renting, your business runs better. You don't lack things that can help you generate profit. And I was trading at a maximum capacity. My store was opening every day, 11 hours a day. So in the third month, I saw profit coming in because I opened in August. The third month was December. So I doubled the turnover in December.
So you actually made money quite quicker, because they usually give people from 6 months. You can only make profit as from 6 months onwards.
That's what I'm saying. Even when I opened, like I opened in August, September, then it was December, and from November, because people start getting bonuses, your turnover grows. Every business around November, people are like, they're getting bonuses, they are buying things. It's festive mood. People are excited about festive.
We're talking about job creation and also the reindustrialization of the economy, which is, it's at the center of the economic recovery plan. We've been through COVID-19, where it struck us almost to the floor as a country. And I suppose the entire nation, a universal thing. But specifically here in South Africa, even before COVID-19, we were already not okay economically. We were struck down due to recession. So what I want to know, your vision is very much aligned to the National Development Plan. Okay. And you're talking about growing businesses, you're talking about strengthening small businesses. How do you go about then strengthening and growing businesses in townships at this hour, when everything is gloomy, when people are closing down their businesses? How do you help them to revive their business? How do you help them to grow their business during this tough economic turmoil?
Okay. So I'm glad that before we started, we had that conversation when I found out, when did you start with your studio? And you said you started last year, April, in the middle of lockdown. I also started other businesses during lockdown. I finished my book during lockdown, which I started, but I couldn't get enough time to finish it. I started supply and now manufacturing the PPE protection wears. During lockdown, I started being my own distributor for eucalyptus oil. So I've learned from other people, because remember, as you are an entrepreneur, you will now start learning from other entrepreneurs, reading other books. So what I got is that you need to adapt. There will be changes. So when change come, don't be stubborn with your model to say, no, this is my business, I'm still doing this. If at that time it's not working, see what else you can take advantage of and move with the times. Technology, I'm not big into technology, but now I find myself doing online business mentorships, because the face-to-face, the classrooms that we're now doing, they are not kind of popular now. It's not even advisable to be doing such now because of the COVID-19. So we need to learn from each other to say, as we've known, even before COVID, they say you need to adapt. Changes now. Technology is it's what people are using. Whether you are selling food, you are selling a product or service, find technology and adapt and use it in your own business. I've got a lady, it's in one of our WhatsApp group, the Women in Business Entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
where she delivers food, home cooked meals, but
Yes.
very nice rosatis, very nice meal. So every day, every week, she makes a menu and then she takes orders. She delivers around Centurion and it's for free, which is a very nice one because delivery, other people will charge you.
They
So once you
can't.
see that
Yes.
charge of 80 rand, but your plate is 60 rand, you're like, is it really worth it? You cancel the order. But she has adopted, she had included the delivery fee in her cost of food. So we don't see it that it's a delivery fee. So sometimes we don't want to eat your normal takeaway. You want home cooked meal, but very nice home cooked meal, not your usual pap and cabbage. So such thing to say, it's normal. It's food. We order online, on WhatsApp. We pay online. She delivers. So she has now adopted the technology into her business, but she's saving what? Food, your normal food that we see. So that's the thing that we need to look and say, okay, things have changed. We accept. We don't now try to be, so hard to think that our business can adapt. Any business can adapt. Even the doctors now, I've seen a medical on call. So now
Yes.
we've got house calls. When you're sick, doctor comes to you.
Yes.
Because the doctors
Absolutely.
have realized that people now are scared to go out and be in the waiting rooms.
Doctors.
So whether you are a medical doctor, medical service, catering service, now we've seen even now with funerals, people are doing packed meals. Nobody's now cooking at home. Nobody's allowed to slaughter cows and all those things. So you see now things have changed. Even in the
Changed.
township, we are seeing catering services because of the strict regulation of COVID, that now food must be packaged, individually wrapped, and so forth.
And I suppose, Batabile, change is the only constant thing. So in life, we need to find ways of adapting to whatever is the new normal. And it was about to come. I must just say to our viewers, it was bound to come. It's just that COVID accelerated everything to technology, but we were moving that direction. In any case, we were just a little bit slow, maybe as a third world country, but COVID just speed up things for us. There's a comment here, Ferdinand James Van Zyl. I thank you for coming through. He's saying that I have one prayer, my sisters, and that is the African child. Allow your brother and sister to prosper in townships. I'm an ex-Soweto cop for 23 years, and I observed a lot of jealousy. And I suppose he's right. In our communities as Black people, we don't want to see the other one prosper. There was a song, quite a song that they used to sing a while back. I think it was Zola 7, if I'm not mistaken. He was just, I'm just paraphrasing now, saying that it is an issue, really. What do you have to say about that, Batabile, as someone who's an entrepreneur and a Black entrepreneur who is from the townships?
To be honest, it's still one thing that we need to be addressing each other and educating each other to say, you know what, we are not, yes, there is competition out there, but we need to understand that everybody, every entrepreneur, we are fighting one thing, which is poverty. So our
Absolutely.
competition amongst ourselves is poverty, creating jobs for each other, for our families, because crime affects everybody. Crime can affect your mother, who's there in the township. So you need to understand that once we create jobs as entrepreneurs, then the crime will go down. We've got kids now, most of us, so we understand that once our kids are going properly to school, there's nobody like a child that is going through hunger, then even at school will be a better environment. Bullying will be less at schools. So such things that our fight now, it should be against poverty, not against each other. So if another one succeed better than you or faster than you, let's embrace them, because it's their time, and understand that as soon as we start also working hard and be consistent, there's no way that we can succeed. We just need to trust the process, and keep going. And understand that the success of another Black brother, Black sister can also birth our success, because people, once they get successful, they are now able to come back and say, how can I reach out? How can I help?
Absolutely.
Because it's very difficult for you to help when you don't have enough for yourself.
I like the portion that you speak about just now. You spoke about being consistent. So we need to keep on doing it, even when we feel tired. Sometimes you do things even when you don't feel like it. You still keep on doing it. Yeah, discipline and consistency. We've got another comment here. Visunaba says, what has been your because of COVID-19 challenges, and how have you overcome these? So, in your business and in your entrepreneur journey, what has been your challenges, and what challenges were there because of COVID-19?
My restaurant closed down, ka lockdown level 5, all of them. I thought
Okay.
it will never happen. It was something that, like, no man, we've had those rumors, but no, businesses can't close down. So imagine I've
Yeah.
got a staff complement of 48 people who
Mm,
sees you as their role model, but
mm,
Tabile, you stay in the suburbs, and then suddenly other people, they were worried about their salaries, because when we are in retail,
yeah,
we create revenue by people buying. So they
absolutely.
already know that we are not like government, whether you are
Yeah,
working or not, you get your
you
salary.
you
So
paid. Yes.
that panic, and we don't budget for this. I didn't have the money, and we're like, okay, what next? So for me, to be honest, that was what kept me awake, what made me hustle and just say, you know what, I cannot give up, because you've got so many families looking up to you. you know
Mm,
and remember, I've got other family members. My sister is working, my brother is working, who could maybe take care of me. But now I cannot be okay. And when I know that I've got people that they are now family, because some of them I've worked with them for more than 4 years. So they are not just
mm,
other employees. They are people that we talk
mm,
every day. I'm eating at home, and I know that they are renting. Most of them, they don't come from Joburg. So all of us, we are here because of work. So that
mm,
kept me, because like the lockdown level 5, remember, it just came. Yes, we had rumors, but we never thought it will happen in South Africa, where
mm,
businesses are so. So I didn't have a
mm.
plan B. I didn't have reserves, because remember, I still had a loan that I was paying for that business. So yes, it was making a profit, but it took longer for my other businesses. So I had 3 brands by then. All of them, they were closed down on the 26th of March.
Mm.
And for us in retail, for my staff to go and claim for the UIF, we saw the queues as early as
Mm,
the 27th. There were
mm,
long queues,
mm.
and where we are staying, we know their stories must stand first. They want their rent. They don't want stories. Otherwise, they lock you out. They throw your clothes out. So
Mm,
I kept awake maybe for a good 3 days. I couldn't sleep, because I knew from the
mm.
first, I'll be starting getting calls to say, Uma Stende has locked me out with my child, because that's what they do in the township. You
Yeah,
don't sign any
yeah.
contracts. They
Mm,
can. It's their houses. Others, they will
mm,
change their
mm, mm.
locks. So yeah, that was the toughest moment in my business ever. I've never thought I'll experience it. Having you can feel the pain on your shoulders to say, what am I gonna do now?
Mm, mm,
What am I
mm.
gonna do?
So
Yeah,
how
so
have you
that's
overcome that challenge?
that challenge. To be honest, the best thing about being funded is that you've got other partners that you can just pick up a call, and you are in there together. Sometimes when you go and speak to your family, they can't relate, they don't understand the business. They only know their half story. But with the banks, because they've seen businesses, they understand, they are professionals, they are trained.
Mm,
So
mm.
I picked up a phone and I called my bankers. So already with the bank, the institutions, they got more information more than I had. I never knew
Absolutely.
that there's an insurance claim that has been put forth by the insurance ombudsman. They
Okay.
went to put some claim to say insurances have not been paying on, what can I call them, business interruptions.
Okay.
So there has been money. So now what are the insurance going to do with that money?
Mm, mm,
The
mm.
landlords already put some claim as well. So there were supporting documents that was put on our behalf as small businesses with insurances. So
Mm.
my bank, to be honest, came through. They gave me a guidance to say, we will stop your payment for 3 months. You won't be any deductions. I pay over 60. I was paying over 60,000 for my loan. They said we're gonna freeze it for 3 months. Then the rental as well. My landlord, we spoke, and he said no, we will deal with it later when things have settled, because they were also confused, not knowing how to handle this, because we didn't know how long even the lockdown will last.
Yes,
So they said, let's deal
absolutely.
with it once the things have opened. So at least, there were other supplies that I didn't have to pay during that month. So that helped me now to channel some monies that I could send and pay some, to my employees.
Okay.
So that helped a lot. And luckily around July, I got my insurance paid a huge amount that I could use now to repay, because the landlord only gave us 1 month rental, because they also they still had a bond to pay on their property, so they couldn't just not give us money. So that's why I will encourage any entrepreneur to say, let's partner with experts, let's partner with the banks. The
They
interest that
know,
we
they know
pay,
what they're doing.
they know what they're doing,
Inside info.
so they will, because I wouldn't have known if Nedbank didn't tell me about this insurance claim that was put forth. I didn't do any application to court. Apparently the matter even went to court, and it was not a little amount, guys. I'm going to disclose it for the purpose of the conversation. I got 500,000, and
That's a
apparently
lot.
I can now come back and still claim more, because I need now to calculate the number of days, the expenses. Now they want another claim that I can still claim if
Okay.
that didn't cover. So that helped me to cover, because my employees, they were paid from March up until we went back to work, so they've never had salary interruptions.
So it's really true that partnering,
It
because you
helped.
can never know everything, but
I will never
partner,
know
you cannot
everything.
never. Working in silos does not work, especially in this economy. Working in silos will not help. To our viewers, please do note that you are allowed to send me messages if you want to remain anonymous, but you're allowed to comment on our YouTube or Facebook, and you're also allowed to ask questions. But if you want to remain anonymous, please send me a message through my Facebook account. There's a viewer here who wants to remain anonymous. He's saying that let's talk about the spaza shops in the townships. The spaza shops landscape is changing, where you find more foreigners owning spazas than locals. These spazas aren't registered and don't comply with the law. How will this issue be tackled, as it is negatively impacting our economy? Do you, as a mentor for small businesses, urge them to be compliant?
Urge them to be
Compliant to the laws, the business laws.
Yes. They need to, because remember, everybody who's running a business in South Africa, whether you are a foreigner or a South African national, you need to pay your tax, you need to pay your CIPC. And this is one thing that we've shared even on social media, to say, government knows about this. They've got the capacity. If government can hire people to count us on the a census, those when it's closer to elections and then they count census. If they can hire volunteers and they pay them stipend to do that, why can't by now we don't have any government officials or any government offices that is sending people, going around, because they've got the metropolis sector where they go around looking for expiry of goods, in the shops. So why can't they have those applications from NRA? Because government is losing money. This is the money that can assist us, it can even be a pool of funding for small businesses, grants, or anything, but at the same time, why can't another entrepreneur see a business opportunity here? Because you can just walk in. We've got other entrepreneurs that are servicing, that can help you register businesses. They will charge you 700 rand. Why can't they just walk into those spaza shops and register them at a fee? Then you can make a whole lot of money, because complaining about them to say, but we don't have South African tech shops. We cannot force South Africans to open up tech shops. Maybe they don't see a value anymore, or they've lost interest in that business, because remember, it's a whole chain of foreigners. Because they join hands, they can buy goods cheaper. So now why can't we as South Africans also do the same model? Because now we know the model, to say how they are now keeping their, instead of, because as entrepreneur, I don't want, to be honest, to be putting fuel on complaining. Entrepreneurs, we are here to find solution. We are here to create jobs. We are here, So now, can't we use the case study that we see that, this is not right for us? So why can't we now generate income from that? So I challenge any entrepreneur to start that business. We have a lot already in the township who will post on social media, but they live a tech shop next door who's not registered. Other people, those Somalians, some of them, they want to register, but they understand the hassle of going to CIPC, up and down. So if they've got somebody who's an expert, there's no time for that. They are running tech shops, So if you are an entrepreneur, I challenge somebody to start that business and specifically work with foreign nationals.
Okay. All right. I hope you've heard that. I do not want to call his name because he wants to remain anonymous, but I hope he's heard that. It is a very good and a valid point that we South Africans have a tendency of just complaining and complaining. Look, our complex complaint can be valid at times,
Mhm,
but it does not help to complain when you can see that the government is doing nothing about it. Then we need
mhm,
to, as you're saying, as entrepreneurs, we are solution driven. So we need to come
mhm.
up with the solution ourselves. I like that point that we are solution driven as
We are.
entrepreneurs. So as a township business mentor, I also wanted to ask you, so what's the common challenge amongst the small businesses that you've identified, and how do you seek to address it?
For me, it's always about access to funding and then access to
Okay.
market. A
Mm,
lot of businesses, they will say we're struggling with customers and also compliance. A lot of businesses, they are running, but they are not compliant at all.
mm,
And when they are not compliant, they lose on benefits, they lose
mhm,
on support
mhm,
because so many programs are there, but they need a certain level of compliance. So if you are
mm,
running your business, you are not registered, even if you are running for 20 years, 10 years, you won't make it. Sometimes
mm,
the grants come, they will say you must have 6 months financial management. We heard even during COVID, minister came out in parliament and said there was 2 billion grant, which the interest was 3.5%. Guys, that was free money that was given
mm,
to businesses up until I think 500,000 or a million per business. But 75% got accessed by white owned businesses, not because of race or what, but
mm,
because white owned businesses, they were more compliant. So now
mm,
there are businesses that closed down because they were lacking funding, but they could not be given funding because they didn't even have proper documentation.
mm,
So
So it's
now this thing of us always starting businesses and we don't register, a lot of businesses have closed down because they cannot access the resources that they need or benefits that they need, that they deserve, because they didn't have compliance. Even
mm,
accessing market, other clients, especially corporate clients, they don't want to do business with companies that don't cut the minimum basic requirements.
mm.
So
There's
such,
another viewers There's another viewer's comment, a quick one, as you're talking about the marketing part. She's saying that recently you spoke about customer service, which translates to the customer is always right. So she's asking, what qualities do you believe a business should have in order to give good customer service, and why is it important?
I will say, number one, you need to, what can I say, in the right way, stick to your agreement. What you promise the customers, you need to deliver that. If you
Okay,
promise them fresh food, make sure that your food are fresh. So that's the
okay.
basic one that we need to adhere to. Then also the service. Remember, when customers come to your businesses, it's not about you. Whether you had a bad rough day, your child didn't sleep well at night, don't make that the customer's problem. So offer
Okay.
them a good service, be on time. You cannot be opening late just because you had problems. Make means to ensure that you service the customers the right way that they're expecting, the right way that you communicated. Because remember, before the customer buys from you, there's a level of expectation that you've created. So you need to
Absolutely.
maintain that at all times. Even
Mm,
you as a
mm,
customer, you will not be happy if a doctor walks in late because they felt that their child was sick. Imagine you
sure.
are there sick yourself or your child is in pain. Now you must wait for
Mhm,
this doctor who's busy now with their personal things. So let's be fair to each other. That's why when we say customer is king, I love it, because even us as business people, we are customers one way or the other. You cannot be happy with your suppliers letting you down. Let's say you
mm,
you 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 outsource some rolls or bread from another supplier. The next thing they let you down. You cannot now do quotas for your customers, or the bread is not fresh for your customers. So put yourself
absolutely.
as well in that situation. And to be honest, without customers, we don't have businesses. Hence, the
Absolutely.
customer will always be king, whether they are right or wrong. The point is that we need to be the ones that making them understand, calming them down, because we're not also gonna react the way they are reacting. Two wrongs don't make it right at the end of the day.
Okay. Do you also train foreign nationals who come here and start businesses in the townships?
I train any other
Yes.
business that wants, to the mentorship, because my focus is access to funding, access to market, and compliance. So even if you're a foreigner business, you need to understand compliance. So
Okay.
it's very, very important that as soon as you open a business in South Africa, you need to have been registered with CIPC, you need to have tax clearance, you need to open a business bank account. So it doesn't restrict you to trade a business in South Africa just because you are foreign. We need those foreign nationals to come and invest here because they create jobs. Remember, I said as entrepreneurs, our fight is against poverty. So
Absolutely.
even if we collaborate with other foreign nations, because I don't want to be stuck in South Africa if I can do a business in London just because they wouldn't
Absolutely.
allow me to be there. So in
Mm.
business, it's always about let's be fair to each other.
Okay.
So remember, it
On
might not be you that wants to go to your US to open up a business, but we've seen Vusi Tembekwayo going to overseas and doing gigs. So now imagine if other people will be saying, no, you are a foreigner here, you are not allowed. How will it happen? Imagine Trevor Noah is settling very nice in the
in the
US.
US.
Nobody's saying
Mm.
Trevor must come back to South Africa. And it's our pride and joy. We draw strength from such people.
Absolutely. You also run, obviously, at the moment because of COVID, your online mentorships are online, right? And I've listened to one or two where you were saying that entrepreneurship is about numbers. So you must know numbers. And I've got a question from that. So if
Money, guys. Let's not lie to ourselves. As much as, yes, sometimes it's time freedom that we are buying, but money, guys, we cannot live without money.
part of it.
We cannot run businesses that are not profitable.
Absolutely, absolutely. I wanted to hear that because you keep on saying that you're helping people, mentoring people, helping people. And I'm wondering now, where does this money get involved now? Because you keep on talking about being passionate about helping people grow, people you do better and progress in their businesses. But also, I like the fact that you did point out that it's about money, it's about numbers. So
Yes,
we do
we
this for
need.
the numbers as well. All right, there's a viewer's question again. They want to remain anonymous, and they're saying that Cape Town has GVI partners with Solutions Space, which is a business incubator and innovation accelerator. It provides new business owners with a space to work as well as access to business students,
Nice.
lecturers, and thought leaders from around the world. So the person is asking, does Johannesburg have such a business incubator for low-income communities? If so, where can one access it?
I've worked with one now. The name is gonna run in Braamfontein. No, there is a lot. Workspace in Sandton.
Okay.
Workspace, Workshop
Yes, I do.
17. Workshop
Mhm.
17. There's one in Braamfontein. I forgot the name now. I don't know why. Yeah, there's quite
Mm.
a lot. There's quite a lot. There's quite
Okay.
a lot.
Maybe what I can do
I'll
is
just drop you some of the details. Then maybe you can post on your wall.
yes, or rather, what would rather we have is for you towards the end of the show where you tell people where they can get hold of you so that they can
Okay.
get this information and also be your clients. Another viewer is saying, how can I effectively market my small business of a hair salon?
Offer hair salon, depending on the services that you offer. If it's only people coming to you, because we need to see first what kind of a salon. Are you a mobile salon? People can come to you, your location. So nowadays, social media is big, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's use our social medias, let's use our local newspapers, because remember, every local area will have their own newspaper that comes out once a month, because you still have your traditional people who are not on social media platform. So
Yes.
let's not also forget those people, because they are the one with money as well, the working class. So if you can do pamphlets, I know it's COVID, but it doesn't say you cannot go out with two people and hand out flyers around taxi rank next to you, around the complex next to you, because there are other businesses that are there. So you just
Mm-hmm.
go in and give pamphlets. And I've seen other businesses, you can leave your pamphlets for example, at the creche. When mummies and daddies come and pick up the kids, they can see these
You just
pamphlets.
take.
Then vice versa, you can also get their pamphlets at your salon. So look into
Okay.
other businesses around you, your takeaway places,
Okay.
where you can also go and drop your menus, and they can also come and drop their flyers at your salon. That's how you also collaborate. I saw one of the viewers now, they also talked about collaboration, guys. It's a new currency. So let's not work it
Mm-hmm.
solo. Let's leverage on other platforms.
Absolutely. There's another viewer, and this will be our last comment or question that we ask for tonight. They are saying that we know the repercussions of COVID-19 and the economic situation that has forced people to close down their small businesses as they couldn't thrive in this hostile environment. What more can these small businesses do so that they are not forced to close down?
Yeah, for me, to be honest,
Concept.
for now, I say adapt. As much as, yes, you are the best in catering, you love cooking, look what else can you sell in your business. Maximize on the resources, on the space, and on your clientele that you are having now. You'll see a decline in fast food because other people are like, yo, what if that place, they are not, precaution with COVID-19 rules and adhere to the rules and whatnot. So you'll see decline. Even when I opened my the restaurant, we saw a lot of people saying they won't buy because we didn't fumigate. We are using old stock and all those things. So we didn't get the
Mm,
sales that we're expecting when we opened the business on lockdown level 4.
okay.
Now on lockdown level 3, we partnered with other people. We partnered with Mr. Uber D, we partnered with Uber Eats. And even as a small business, guys, your Uber Eats, Mr. D, they don't only take corporate businesses. I've got other
Mm,
clients that I mentor.
mm,
I'll make an
mm,
example with Ntabis. She trades from Shantystown. Ntabis,
mm,
she cooks traditional meal. Her muhodu now is trending, and mlekwa is trending on Mr. D because they also do you nice posters. Now people can order and then they deliver. So now
yes.
you've invited third party into your business. So try to leverage on your existing product or use other things, sell other things. There's nothing wrong if you are a cooker, but now you are selling sanitizers. It's a fast moving now, so which can now
Mm,
help you to sustain your business. Remember, you've got
mm,
a space that you are renting, so you don't have to
mm,
close your business, but rather
mm.
try to get other things that can generate an income. You know,
Oh, all right.
if you can
Um,
now start cooking lessons, online cooking lessons. People are now doing things online, they are getting education online, so people will pay for you to teach them to cook online.
yes, people do Zoom conferences online and you pay, etc. There's a lot of things that's done online. And you're quite right, Batabile. Batabile, as a closing statement to our viewers who are very interested in entrepreneurship, what advice would you give them to someone who wants to start a business? What good advice would you give to that person?
Yeah, I will say, to me, to be honest, let's not get stuck to starting a business because of the passion or because of the skill that you have. Sometimes look into an opportunity. Don't be afraid to take up an opportunity that you can see, what, I can also do this. Look
Mm,
into what is trending now and also try to see where you can fit. Other business guys are birthed because of an opportunity that you can see.
mm,
Take advantage of the opportunities. It's not, as an entrepreneur, it's not about your childhood brain idea. We can park that, do something else later on when you've got the resources, you are fit enough. Now you can go back to your brainchild idea that you had. Because sometimes we
mm,
stuck up on a something that it cannot work now, but because it's
mm,
an idea that you had that you love.
mm.
Let's forget sentimental values when you come to business. Yes, we want to create
Absolutely.
jobs. We want to create job for ourselves. We want to create job for our others. But let's not forget, we also need to create money. We need money,
Absolutely.
guys. Business that doesn't
Absolutely.
have a good income, that
Profit.
doesn't create good revenue, it cannot strive.
It's about, as you would say, it's about numbers. It's about all
It's
about
about
numbers.
numbers, guys. Sales. It's about sales, guys.
So we can't fool ourselves. It's about numbers.
No, we're
Oh,
not
well,
gonna
thank you
now
so
lie.
much. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Batabile Muregi, for coming through. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our show. Batabile is a multi-franchisee, she's an author and also a business consultant. If you do need her services, where can they find you, Batabile? Because some people want to start
On
a business.
Yeah, on Facebook, I'm Batabile Mureki, and then on actually social media platforms, so they can just inbox me. And my email is batabile@tetfe. It's my website, tetfe.co.za. Even my website, they can get all my WhatsApp number, my contact details is www.tetfe.co.za. So TETFE for Township Economic Transformation in Franchise Ecosystem. So TETFE. If they just Google TETFE, they will find all my contact details.
All right. Thank you so much, Batabile. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen,
Thank
for watching.
you.
I hope you've learned a thing or two. We cannot sit down and fold our arms right now. Selling, marketing, entrepreneurship is the way to go. We've got to make the ching ching. You have a great evening. My name is Ginger, the founder of Ginger the Voice. We are a
Thank you.
communications company that seeks to give hope,
Really.
courage, and enlightenment. And we do this through various platforms such as speaking, singing, and hosting talk shows such as this. So till next time, good night and God bless you.
Bye bye.